Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, how much you could depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption. Like and share videos. Today is Monday, the 23rd day of September 2024. I bring news update. The ruling elite must not try to put a yoke of slavery on the indigenes because of the streaming migration of settlers on the land. Lagos indigenes raise alarm. Yes, that is what is happening now. That the former Minister of Communications, Major General Tajuddin Olaranweju, retired, has disclosed that plans are underway to ensure that non-Lagosians do not get into elected offices in the 2027 election. Olaranweju, who is the alternate chairman of the Renaissance Patriots Foundation in Ikorodu, Lagos State, lamented that existing political parties in the state deny indigenes of the state the opportunity to fill important political posts during elections. He also revealed that the conspiracy to capture Lagos State permanently by the ruling elite, most of whom are resident, non-indigenes, will be foiled in 2027. Yes, of course, we reported early last week that Lagos indigenes, they are up against Yorubas who are coming from Osun, yes, Ekiti, yes, even and some other states, Ogun states, yes, and other states from the southwest to claim indigenship in their land. They said they are the problem they are facing. They are coming to grab land in Lagos State. So they are doing land grabbing in Lagos State. They acquire political offices and they use it to acquire land by grabbing it. Yes. Said Igbos are not their problem. They said it. But when we reported it, some Yorubas came and said, no, we are carrying propaganda. It's not true. This man is re-echoing their statement and saying it in a different way this time around, saying by 2027, they will stop the non-Lagos indigenes coming from Osun, Ogun, Ekiti states, and other states in the southwest to come to Lagos and take political offices or appointment. He said only one person since 1999 is who has become the governor of Lagos State is the indigene. So Lagos has produced only one indigene as governor of Lagos State, only one. So the rest are non-indigenes of Lagos State. Say this must stop by 2027. Look at the statement quote. The question that needs to be answered lies in who stands for the political interest of the indigenes in the affairs of government, who also determines who qualifies to represent Lagos State in the national and state assemblies, and also who could fill appointment quotas from within and outside the state. Some might say that the answer lies within the realms of the Constitution. This does not represent a good reason or explain why, for 25 years, Lagos State has remained the only state in the whole of the Federation since the beginning of the Fourth Republic in 1999 that has not been governed by an indigene with the right of blood except once. The existing political parties take the liberty to always deny the indigenes of the state to fill the most important political posts during elections and running of government. The only argument that they usually pose, which is false, is that the indigenous population is not in our favor. There is no empirical data to prove this issue. Lagos State, by its economic status and level of development, offers more comparative advantage than other states of the Federation. That is the reason why the struggle for control of Lagos State resources becomes fierce and unrelenting. Does this fallacy make the position of indigenes to govern the state untenable? The Renaissance Patriots Foundation thinks that there is a conspiracy to capture the state permanently by the ruling elite, most of whom are resident non-indigenes. It thus brings us to the main point of why the political parties prefer residents who are non-indigenes to be at the helm of affairs, using them as pliable tools to do the wish of the ruling government. So, it becomes a lot easier to explain the situation whereby about 60% of our representations at the national and state assemblies, local government areas, and councillors are all non-indigenous. This is where we, as Devanesians, patriots of Lagos State, believe that the political administration relegates the indigenes to the back seats. It seems that for these reasons, every 4 years of political administration in Lagos State, the indigenes get closer and closer to critical moments in making certain decisions about how they want to rule themselves. Those who hide under the constitutional provision of freedom of movement, etc., and residency are clever by half because they have political choices as first citizens of their states. This is an abuse of the constitution. It is only in Lagos State that you could find positions, appointments, and nominations which ought to be reserved for indigenes given to those who claim double states of origin simply because they live in Lagos State. The fundamental defects in this government's political dispensation, for example in Lagos State, and in particular her lack of human spirit towards the Lagos State indigenes, had resulted in disillusionment and agitations for political entitlements. Failures of national and state policies have contributed to the instabilities in the oil-rich Delta region, insurgency in the northeast, banditry and kidnapping in many states of the Federation. Considering our political, economic, historical, and social concerns in Lagos State, including our rights to ancestral land and interaction that have lasted for 2 centuries, we cannot but be careful not to be subjected to genocide by migration by settlers. The objective of resident non-indigenes is to capture Lagos State politically and deny the indigenous people their constitutional rights and privileges. How do we explain the situations when the holders of 6 important political offices most often are held by non-indigenes? The ruling elite and leadership in Lagos State government, by holding on to the most important political positions, control the political administration and the state resources, and use the state to climb the political ladders at the expense of the indigenes. Important decisions, political selection, and constitutional entitlements are located on this basis of inequality and self-interest. We can give examples of non-indigenes who proudly hold double indigeneship and use Lagos State as stepping stones. How do they achieve it? They achieve it through false declaration because they are never confirmed to be known by families they claim to come from in Lagos State. It is a betrayal, wrongful representation, and lack of respect for Lagos State indigenes when the contesting parties nominate candidates who have 2 states of origin for the state. Our state should do everything possible to ensure that indigenes are not overwhelmed by the daily movement of people who decide to settle in our midst. The ruling elite must not try to put a yoke of slavery on the indigenes because of the streaming migration of settlers on the land. The political parties must change their attitude and choose their candidates from the indigenous people of the state. I advise that the indigenes must fight to take back their state. The residency factor has been solely used as a wedge and instrument of divide and rule to achieve control of our political rights. It is always a willing tool of political oppression that has kept indigenous people away from ruling the state. At the end of this tenure in 2027, it will be 19 years that Lagos State has remained a political orphan. We strongly believe that the ambiguity surrounding the issues of indigeneship should be considered in our memoranda that we submitted to the Constitutional Review Committee. Indigenes across the parties must stand up and contest for any elected position from the governorship, Senate, House of Representatives, State Assembly, LGS and councillorship, and also vie for appointments into offices at state and federal levels. They should not be intimidated and must push back against political bullies. The indigenes from the 5 divisions must insist on their top party leaders that only indigenes must be nominated as their governorship and deputy governorship candidates, speaker, assembly members, senate, and members of the House of Representatives. Advocacy is essential, a demand for human dignity. Let us stand up for what is right, even if it means standing alone. End of quote. Now, this is what this former minister is talking about. Yes, he's made his statement categorical. Said, look, non-indigenous are the problem. Said, by 2027, said they will stand up to defend their rights, the rights of the indigenes of Lagos State, by refusing the non-indigenous to hold political offices from governorship to councillor. Yes, of course, these Yoruba people, they will come and try to use Igbo to distract the indigenes of Lagos State. When they will tell you, oh, Lagos is don't say Lagos is no man's land. The Igbos, it's not your place. Go back to Southeast. Igbos must go. Non-indigenes are the ones saying all these things. From Oshu, Ogun, Ekiti, and others. Yes, and they have become governors in that state. Said only one person has ruled Lagos State as indigene. Others are foreigners. Yes, they migrate, the settlers, they migrate and settle, and they claim indigenship. Whereas if you ask them, their family, where they come from, they will not tell you. Yes, the current president, where is his family? Where is his family? Yes, his extended family, the current president, who ruled Lagos, and he has become Lagos godfather. Yes, who can tell us his extended family members? Okay? Oh, yes, let us see them. His ancestry. Yes, the lineage in Lagos, can we trace it to up to 4 generations?